What's going on is the Wolf, and we are back with another episode of the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. And I'm excited today, as always. Matter of fact, I forgot something. The world's fastest growing podcast. Universe's fastest growing podcast that's helping people get 1% better.
Yes, sir.
Every single day, every single episode, and every single way. And I'm extremely excited today for two reasons, because I'm joined by my guy, Q.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Officially got a deal. From a 10-day contract to a 20-day contract.
Yeah, it's a 10-month, 10-day contract. That's saying,
we gotta keep extending. We gotta keep it. You know, it keeps you on your toes.
That's
right?
fair.
It keeps you honest. And the other part is because we don't have company today. And I know that we have more episodes without company than with company, but for some reason, this episode without company just feels like, you know, it just feels a little better.
Reinvigorated.
Left us the crib.
Yeah.
You get that
House party vibe.
Yeah, house party vibe. So, you know, let's turn up, man. So, you know, how we...
Real quick before we get into it, shout out to our sponsors.
That boy good. Shout out to her fantasy box, man. Big shout out to her fantasy box. Make sure y'all go shop with them ladies. I actually met women who have actually bought it, who have actually stamped it.
That's dope.
Like, when I tell you, like, legitimately, like, I'm on FaceTime and she like, yeah, I got this, I got that. I be using this for this. And she showed me, like, it helped with her ingrown hairs and the other joint help with her moisture. Like, really give it. And it was so dope to me because I'm like, you know, we don't use the product.
Right.
We bring awareness to it.
And can vouch for it just off the
fact that the
history,
people behind it, but to see a customer that don't know, they're just like, yeah, you know, I'll be buying their stuff, on top of other people that just like, oh, I see it behind you, so I'm gonna go shop. So, you know, shout out to the platform with that as well.
And shout out to our 1%ers.
Shout out to the 1%ers, but also shout out to Iconic the brand on a sponsorship for the gear today. Big shout out to you. Got anybody you want to sponsor?
Shout out to my mom. You know, she
no shout out to you, Dad.
Yeah. We kind of, it's like, shout out to the folks.
No, but all in all, though, man, big shout out to the sponsors. Now, I was about to ask you about your week.
Yes.
Let's talk about your week. Let's really unpack, man.
All right, yeah. So my week was good. You know, I was actually went to the gym a few times. I had a good, you know, it'd be a struggle for me to get to the gym.
I can verify that you was at the gym. Someone saw you.
yeah. Shout out to him.
You ran into my brother.
For sure.
Y'all seen your man at the gym. I thought he was look. True story. I thought he was in the gym. I said what he was doing.
So he gonna be lying.
He said it was. Oh no, I ain't see him working out. We was in the locker room. Like he was like he was probably just getting there, and I was leaving. I'm like, so he wasn't doing no type of workout. I was trying to get to the bottom of it.
He just walked in and out. So I was happy because it'd be a struggle for me between my schedule and my daughter's schedule like that, wherever driving. So if I get 2 times, that's usually my norm. I get 2 sessions, call it a week. But this time I got 3. And I would accomplish with my schedule, whatever.
3 is you're a workout boy now.
Smut in there.
No jokes.
Fair.
You do 3 a week, you work out.
3 should definitely be the standard for everybody.
Yeah,
you get 3 sessions in.
You do 3 a week, you work out.
Yeah, but you know, I got a chance to one of them sessions, the bench was open. So I'm like, you know what? Let's put the weight. Let's see what we can do in here, whatever. Ooh. And I was not able to get to the 245. I was not maxed out at 225, and that was the max.
You know, there's a very small percentage of men that can do 225.
For sure. But I agree with you. I feel whatever your weight is, you should be able to do this. I'm like, I know I could do 225, but I was slightly disappointed. Damn, I can't go above that. Duly noted. But now,
how many you gave him?
Just 2.
Oh, good.
Just max it out.
That's good. That's real good.
But so I began, because that's the thing.
Was it a struggle, or did it feel like you could just, you know?
It was a max. Yeah, I couldn't get. I don't think.
No, because
3 without. I don't think I could get a 3rd without a spot. I didn't have no spot.
Because you had a confidence.
Right.
I went to the gym a few times, me and my homie, and like he didn't think he could do 225, but when he did it, actually looked effortlessly
smooth. But
it was like a smooth 2 or 3. But I felt like he had another one, like a smooth one before he got to the struggle.
Gotcha.
And sometimes it just takes you like, let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
And you know, metaphorically speaking, that's just life. Like, you don't really know what you're capable of until you push yourself in an uncomfortable predicament to almost mess up.
Right.
And like, you know, because in that particular instance, if you would have dropped that weight on you, I mean, that would have been right. But in life, it's like so many people be afraid to even try to go to 245. Try to go up a notch to challenge them to essentially grow and tear some new muscles. You know what I'm saying?
And before I even go back into let you talk about your week, but also I want to say to that is back when we first was speaking about the gym like a few episodes ago, it struck me where I was thinking, like I feel like, you know, we talk about the show a lot, how we going to improve and shit like that. And I know my natural way of approaching things is I can tend to be like, no, that's good enough, and we good, and you know, the B+ logic I always talk about, whatever. And I was like, no, like when the last time I did, because also with working out, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not really trying to get bigger necessarily. It's right, just sustain and tone, whatever. But I don't know, but like still, can you even? And I really was like, I don't even know if I can go, you know, can touch 240, whatever. So I'm like, let's test it, whatever. So now with that in mind, I think I am gonna try to up it just to see it, just out of curiosity.
Did you feel accomplished?
I was intrigued more than accomplished. Cause I already knew I could.
Adrenaline start pumping?
No, cause I knew I could do 225. I wasn't sure if I can do more than that though.
Or just monotone with everything. Yeah, all right, did it.
Yeah. I was like, damn. I was like, I can't go further. So fair. Okay, duly noted. I'm like,
so I'm still stronger than him.
Right. I'm like, you got me. So I'm like, I know I can leave. I was like, I could do like 5 of those. I was going to do like 240 maybe once or twice. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Put this in the road.
Yeah, so I feel less than that though. It's like, it's never too often to push yourself and touch yourself, and because it's room for improvement, room for development, room for learning yourself, whatever, and just trying shit out, whatever. So how was your week?
Things that I've been doing in the gym real quick, like literally trying to get an extra rep up. So like if I could do 6 at 205, I'm trying to get to 8.
Okay.
If I could do 2 at 225, I'm trying to get to 3. So that's been more than it's been up in the weight, it's been more so up in the repetition.
Okay.
Because if I can get to 225, I know I could throw up 245 twice because I've done it once already, right? So that's been my like new. I was saying like it's not necessarily for me about putting extra weight on each end. It's more so about up in my reps, and if I did 3 sets, let me go to 4. If I'm doing a leg press, if I did whatever pounds, let me add another plate. Let me do. So that's how I know I'm getting stronger, because not add another plate, add another set, because I'm doing more of what used to make me feel like I wasn't able to complete it. So, that's that. But as far as
real quick, one last thing about it. And before that recent session, one thing I was more so focusing on, instead of the reps or even the weight, it was like my form. So even with pull-ups, I used to try, but no, I'm trying to get my 3 sets of 10s, and I did my 30. Then I know, like, how many of these was perfect though?
Good job.
How many of these was full extension and shit like that, whatever. So that was like, again, that's the more you do, the more you can kind of assess your direction and whatever.
You strong, because before you like struggling, and you knocking out 30, like I did 30. So now doing 30 pull-ups, full extension is different than doing 30 pull-ups. When you just kind of like,
just to get the number.
Just to get the number, 100%. You know what I mean? That's good. That's actually the quality over the quantity. Because you like, these are quality pull-ups. So I'm actually hitting the muscles that I need to hit. But for my week though, transparently speaking, whatever the case may be, it was a good week. Like, it was a week of a lot of reflection. I'm heavy on self-reflection. Like, one thing I want y'all to understand out there is like a lot of what we talk about, we give perspective, we give insight, and it do derive from experience, but this is real life practices as well. And I think that that's the part that, people overlook when you're dealing with podcasts, right? They think about the conversation and not about the practice. We're not just having conversations up here. We live this shit. And it's like, if it's something that we are given perspective, it's always gonna be an educated perspective that can be pulled from sad experiences that would have foresaw these outcomes, right? So it's like, you ain't been married for 20 years, but if being in a relationship for 10, pretty much you can foresee what 10 years could look like with the person you with. And I say all that to say, like, practicing what we talk about and being who we are, I always self-reflect. And this was a heavy self-reflection week, and I just had to get a lot of things in order to be able to regain foresight. And like, transparently speaking, depending on when they see this might determine which level. We talked a lot about being in limbo. And literally, like, I'm so ready to get out of it, bro. I'm so ready to get out of limbo. Like, this week has been, I cannot wait to sit down and unpack. And literally and metaphorically, I cannot wait to unpack, bro. Like, I'm extremely excited. I haven't been more excited to go unpack, literally, like, ever. And it's because I'm so excited as what I'm going to do with that new found bit of stability. And what I didn't get to touch on, even in our conversations over the phone when we was talking about this, is how it made me respect my responsibilities to not even play with certain things. Now, granted, it's not like I did anything this go around to put myself in a predicament to be like, oh, I need to learn. It wasn't the old lesson. This was a new lesson. This lesson was like just appreciating the ability to be comfortable. Just having that as an option.
Comfort is a
real thing.
I don't want to say it's a luxury, but
no, it's a luxury.
Okay.
If you sit on a plane and you can do this, that's a luxury.
You're not feel about that.
It's a luxury to be able to do this on a plane. You could be on a plane like this.
Yeah.
Could be on Frontier.
Hate it.
You feel me?
Ricky?
It's a luxury. So I didn't realize how much comfort was a luxury. How we take comfort for granted. Like, you don't know how comfortable it is to sleep in a bed that's not occupied by you and another baby. You feel me? You got the baby in the bed. Now you can't even roll over a certain way because you don't want to lay on the baby. You feel me? You like, damn. So now the baby got it sleeping in the crib. You like, oh, I can stretch out. I'm comfortable again. So yeah, we tend to take comfort for granted because people often associate comfort with complacency.
Yeah.
So when you hear the word comfort, it's this negative connotation that makes you think that if you're comfortable, you ain't working hard enough. No, I'm going to comfortably work hard. Like, and one of my family members taught me this. He said, when you leveling up, you're supposed to get comfortable. But getting comfortable don't mean get complacent. It don't mean stop there. It means get comfortable while there. So if you know that you're about to start going to the gym, the comfortable thing would be, we'll go get you some shoes and some outfits that will motivate you to go to the gym. It's not for you to get comfortable and be like, all right, I'm going to just go in the gym and do the same workouts every day and make it easy. It's like, what can I do while going through this season that'll make me feel good? If you know you're about to stay down and you're not about to be going out every weekend because you're trying to cut back on spending, go buy yourself a new TV so that you can have something fresh in the space to be like, yo, I'm excited to watch my 75-inch, 80-inch TV. I'm excited to watch these new shows or play this new game that I just bought myself to create comfort in this season that I'm in. So comfort don't mean get complacent. It just mean enjoy the luxuries of being in the season you in. So one of the things I did during this week was really, like I talked about, like occupying my homie couch. That was my place to stay while I waited on my place to become available. Because another thing we also talked about, which they don't always get all the context because we have a lot of conversation, was that a lot of the delay was more so the apartments not being ready. Then it was like, it wasn't financial. It wasn't even approval to every degree.
Things wasn't aligned.
Things just wasn't aligned. So that's why I'm like, what am I not? This is the thing when I talk about practicing. When I'm in that season and I'm trying to rush and like, I got the money. All right, I'm about to just go get me an Airbnb because it's better, right? I'm about to get me a hotel because I could at least have company and I could do me and I'm not occupying somebody else's space. Then I caught myself when I priced it. Why would I spend $1,600 to stay somewhere for 2 weeks to just be comfortable, right? Without acknowledging what I might be overlooking in this sense of comfort. So I looked at it like, you know what? This couch is a nice couch. It's crazy to say, but
it's a nice couch.
It's fucking nice couch. You know what? All right, what would make me comfortable in here? I don't really like staying at people's crib, like, because everybody don't live how I live. Let me go buy myself some shower shoes. Like, let me clean the bathroom. Like, let me clean the area that's common that I have to occupy for these 2 weeks while I wait for my place to become available. Let me make it comfortable for me. And I had to have a convo with my homie who was allowing me to occupy space. Like, look, don't take me wrong, but this is the standard in which I live to. So because I live at this standard, I need to be comfortable if I'm taking a shower, comfortable if I'm taking a shit. And I know there's your space, but when you live by yourself, you already living in your level of comfort. But now allowing me to, be here for the next 10 days or 11 days, however long it takes for the place to become available, I got to make it comfortable. So I started enjoying the comfort of, now I'm looking forward to being able to say, I don't got to wear shower shoes. I don't got to freaking put a pillowcase over a couch pillow. I don't got to do these things because I'm comfortably in my own space. So my week was heavy on self-reflection, on me realizing that comfort is a luxury and I cannot wait. And I don't like to say that. I'm excited. I'm excited to unpack and make my space a comfortable space. Another thing, I got to see my kids. Again, depending on when it made me realize how much I love my kids, yeah. And it's like, they really my babies. And it's like just kicking it with them and like they really missed me. And it's like, yeah, they probably coming back with me. I'm taking them like, why? Because they give me a sense of purpose. Beyond my world purpose. Like it's like being a dad is a different type of purpose. It's a different type of feeling that you don't even realize is a luxury until, because there's a lot of nuances and annoying things that come with being a parent. But just being able to be someone's dad, just hearing them say, Dad, keep after that. Just hearing the title, it just gives me that sense of belonging and being around other people with their family over the course of the last 2 months while I was away. And then coming home being like, this is mine. This is I have dominion over this said.
You created that.
And like, yes, these are my creations. So even as a man, if you're watching this, man, like take pride in being a father. And even if you're the man of the house and you got a family, take pride in that, bro, because you might not be the boss at your job, bro. You might not be the richest, the wealthiest, the funniest, the most handsomest, the most creative or articulate, bro. But in your household, even if your partner don't always see it, bro, you the man.
Your kids
You
see
the
it.
man at a household. You have dominion over that household. You are the leader. You are the protector. You are the provider. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much they not acknowledging what you do, bro. You matter, and take pride in that, bro. That's an amazing position to hold. You are the CEO of your crib, bro. Take pride in that. You might not work for a large wage, but in there, what you do is priceless. And even if it's not always recognized, understand that your presence is a present and is valuable, and it's something that has a return investment that shows up in the future. See, a lot of the times people talk about the man's absence and it being value, but no, it really just takes time for your value to materialize. And your absence don't necessarily mean that you're not here. Your absence could just mean that your kids live on their own now, and now they can't call on you to do the thing that you would naturally do on a day-to-day because you don't live in the same space as them. Maybe they went off to college, or at someday they will go off to college, and then they'll look back and say, well, my dad was right when he said this, or I understand why my dad. So you might not get to hear the seeds you plant grow, or even see them grow and see what they become in real time. But when they become that compound effect and they materialize at the end, you're going to reap the rewards of that, because this is the fruit that you bear based on the labor that you put in. So don't disregard your importance, bro. And I really realized that, like, yo, like, regardless of running a business, having this, having that, just having them alone, I'm really the man. So that was my week, man. Just acknowledging those things.
That's dope. A recent audiobook that I, went through was called The Algebra of Happiness. And it was a dope book. And one of the themes in there, like, it was a guy, he a professor, entrepreneur guy, very accomplished guy, whatever. But one of the main recurring themes was, not just parenthood as far as his kids, but also his relationship with his parents. And one of the main motifs he had in there was like, yeah, like, of course, we always talk about the pride in raising your kids and pouring a lot into your kids and that compound interest, because they can do this, but also the other side of it is like, you should take just as much pride in taking care of your parents at a certain point. Eventually, life switches when your parent is like your child, and you gotta take care of them even before they get elderly. But especially once they get elderly, like, how you can create life, you should be able to see towards someone transitioning out of life, and that should be one of the greatest joys you can bring to somebody's life, especially your parent. 100%. If you can, if they're in their last days, you can make that comfortable, even luxurious, or at least peaceful. That's the greatest gift you can give to anybody, let alone your parent.
That's fire.
And it's back to this point about the kid part, though. Again, I've always thought about my daughter, where it's like, yeah, like, this shit's annoying, but it's worth it. I love her and this and that, whatever. But that book made me think about it like an extra 10% of trying to be intentional. Because he had a lot of things where he was like, no, like, no matter how annoying it is, no matter how much it be a nuisance or whatever it is, this is the ultimate investment, because like I said, decades later, whether you hear or not, they're going to be like, no, my dad was right. No, my dad did. He was there. He loved me. He was there. Or I'm taking care of my dad because he took care of me my whole life. And yeah, so that'll be the ultimate full circle investment, where it's like, all that love important. He said, speaking of the not being comfortable in the bed, he had a whole thing about that. He's like, no, like, me and my wife, we have a whole thing where, like, we don't even kick our kids out the bed. It's like, no, we are a community. If you we sleeping together. It is what it is. What? And he had a whole case study about. Hey, my point I thought about how he just expressed in
different type of math.
Fair, but how he just articulated his love for his kids, when you're thinking about, no, like, whatever and the whole thing was like, eventually those days will be over. Eventually your kid will be older. Eventually they're going to move out. Eventually they're going to move away, have their own lives. You're going to have disagreements. So while she's 4 now, like I said, she's going to say, Daddy, 1,000 times. Take joy in that. Take pride in that. Appreciate that. Because those days that time is fleeting.
100%.
So you need to appreciate the way you still got it, for sure.
I agree. Totality. You said, even like, all right, so like, we talk about transitioning from not just taking care of our kids, but also at some point transition to taking care of our parents. That's one of the main things that I think that as men, it has to be highlighted. Like, especially if you grow up with a single mom, bro, at some point you have to take over the reins and understand that your mom took care of you so you can take care of her. See, because women don't raise men, they take care of us. And I think that that's where you get like, oh, I was raised by my mom. No, you wasn't. You was raised by your environment. Your mom might have put you in that environment, because the environment could have been, you've been raised around a lot of women. So now you argumentative, you have no emotional maturity. You don't know how to, you don't have no emotional intelligence or no ability to be able to control your emotions. As a man, you're very reactive because your environment raised you, right? But your mom took care of you your entire life. Whereas though, men, we get raised by other men because they lead by example. They teach us principles. They teach us not to say our moms don't teach us stuff, but teaching somebody don't mean, when I say our mom take care of us, they weather the load. So that at some point, we can weather the load. So it's like, now you could be a benefit to your mom if you stop being a burden to her. But then if you times it by 2 and you go from being a burden to being a benefit by now taking care of her, which is to the book that you referenced, and being that's what the ultimate goal is as a man. It's like at some point you want to take over the reins, but you know what? My mom held it down for me. She took care of me my entire life. Now I want to take care of her because women want a soft life. And your mom is still a woman. And I think that people lose sight of that and they get caught up in, well, this is my mom. She's somebody I could call on for stuff. Not realizing like, no, like if your mom was 5'3" and you were a baby, she was clearly bigger than you. But now you 6'2", your brain should also metaphorically be able to correlate. I'm like bigger than my mom now, right? So it's like, I can literally protect her. I work, I have money. I can literally do these things for my, and ultimately they women, so they still want to be pampered. They still want to be taken care of. They still want those things. And it's not to say, oh, your mom you got to be your mom's man, because I think people try to, oh, I'm like, no, my mom. No, it's just about understanding that daughters, mothers, wives, they all want the same stuff. Like literally. So, you know, being able to take care of your mom has to be a goal. Another thing I was going to say in regard to, that fleeting of, you know, the whole preacher, take pride in the, like, dog, it's like I said a couple episodes ago, women gotta love motherhood, but like, yes, fatherhood is annoying. Yes, it's like, yes, we don't always feel like we get the love and appreciation, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, bro, fall in love with it, because this is a product of your teaching. This is a product of your labor. This is a product of your wisdom. This is a product of your nuts. Product of you. Like seriously, like everything about this is a product of you. So how your kids become, take pride in that, because if you built a business, you'll be like, I did that. That was my baby. And I look at what it became. It's so successful. So your kids are the same investment. It's like
ultimate investment.
It's an ultimate investment, because their success is a product of what you did or didn't do. You don't want to be the person that motivated your kid because you wasn't there. You want to be the person that encouraged them through their season and allowed them to grow. But what you finna say?
Yeah, we spoke of this a long time ago, a few episodes, and I grew up with that like type of, I don't want to say pressure because of negative connotation, but no, but the understanding that like I want to take care of my mom, and even as a child, no, I'm looking to be a certain way and be a certain way. So I go like, no, mom, you good, you know. And I feel like, you know, niggas in the hood, we all grow with that type of thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's
yeah, like, you know, we all grow. Nah, I bought my mom a house and she good, shit like that, whatever. But then, you know, once life develops how it does, all right, cool, like, you know, riches aren't at the doorstep at it currently states, or even years ago, it wasn't even in the vision for or whatever. I had to figure some shit out, whatever. Then it's like, all right, cool. Like, what do I need to do to still feel fulfilled as a man, as a growing 100%. Person, as a son? Am I a failure? Did I not fulfill my end of the deal? My mom poured a lot into me, whatever. So I'm out a certain thing. And mind you, I never even thought about it from her lens, like, do she feel disappointed? Never, but truly just in myself internally, like, am I not getting the most out of my life of potential, whatever? So I still deal with that now, whereas like, what is the future gonna, you know, behold and become?
Have you been an actor?
Never.
That'd be a good thing to do.
I mean, yeah, we'll make assumptions, but so I think that'll be, no matter what. We always have dope and deep conversation, whatever. I foresee it being like, I still love you, my son, no matter what, whatever. But yes, I want to retire. So it's like,
yeah, like, mom, what could I do that would make you happy? And it's like, it might not even be as much as you think. Like my mom, her birthday just recently passed. And what she want literally don't even cost nothing. It's just like more symbolic than anything. But I only arrive at that by asking. Like, well, mom, what do you really feel like you want for your birthday that you never get or that you never got? And you might think it's a house or this, but in reality, the going back to them taking care of us, right? As much as we should take over the reins, they almost never expect us to, because they maintain that dynamic of, this is my cub. So they never really expect to get that house, right? It becomes a reality when the stars start to align. Oh, this might really get me a house. But in theory, they really just wanted it to be less of a strain on them, because they look at it like, if they had to carry you for 9 months, then carry you for 18 years, they at least just had to at some point put you down. They're not expecting you to then turn around and carry them. But because of the type of men we are, coming from the environments we come from, that savior hero complex, at the same time my mom sacrificed it all, so I want to give her the world, which is a good mindset to have. We then create that expectation of what we feel like we should do that'll make them happy, but lose sight of the conversation that's needed to even figure out if they even held true to the fact that when we was 3, we said, and this is a true story. I'm gonna get you a house when I get older. Like literally, my mom still tell that story to this day. When you was 3, you promised me a house. So,
still to this,
but it's a joke. But ultimately, like
same story.
Getting to the root of it is always just like I said, having that. Yo, mom, what as a son, what can I do that'll make you happy? Because they want to feel protected, want to feel supported, and it'll also make her then see you as a man. Some women do it whether you want them to or not. Some women with sons, they turn 16, they start working, bills.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been training you for this. Like, it's your time to have some responsibilities. I'm not necessarily mad at it because I get it because they're women and soft life is like, I want to get as much of this burden off my back as possible and you in here. But at the same time, the other ones never dissociate the fact that, yo, your son 36 now and you still don't look at him like a man. You still think he's your baby boy. And it's like, the only way that happens is when you say shit like, how you feel, mom? What can I do?
To tie it back to something you said earlier about these are like real life experiences and shit that we go through. And again, that's a dope thing about our platform and our conversation. I feel like many things that we've discussed have been real time developments, 100%. You know, whether it's been, you know, your transitions and moving, my dad's saga, you know, me getting married soon. All these things have been real time as people have watched and listened and shit like that or whatever, you know. So even though I already kind of see how the conversation will go, I'm going to ask that question to my mom and I'm going to come back and talk about it with her. But to the ultimate point though, when cause like even when I was about the soft life, so literally my mom used to tell me all the time like, yo, long as you live in my house, whatever, this is my house. You know, you never gotta worry about paying no bills. This is my responsibility. And then her and my stepdad broke up. But then it was like,
you the man in the house now. You've been promoted.
Right. It was like, yeah, this is my house, but when the man was here. So now it's, you know, it's your house. But like, so I dealt, but even my whole life, my mom talk about the 3-year-old story. My mom, I used to like, I always liked basketball more than football, but I was, you know, you don't want to believe this, but I was better at football than I was at basketball.
Was like, I never smothered you.
Yeah, fair. So I was naturally.
You caught a couple passes.
It was about 7. I was naturally better at football. So when I stopped playing football, she was just. My mom loves football. She's a football watcher. She was devastated. Like. Yeah, for sure. And even to this,
shout out to you, Lena.
To this day, she would still say like, whenever she sees somebody get drafted, that was supposed to be you on stage with me, like Lamar Jackson, mom, and this and that, all that type of shit. Like that's what she be doing, whatever.
No, that investment was a real investment
for sure. Like so, you know. But again, she
was a momager
for sure. As with most things, she balances it well, but like the pressure or the expectation rather was there. Like no, like you know. By a certain point, by this way, but in the day, she always still had it with love at the same time. It was like, nigga, if you don't do it, you're a failure. I hate you. Get the fuck out the house. Precious type shit. But so I'm still gonna ask her just out of curiosity because you know we talk about a lot of things.
It'd be funny if she say go to the NFL.
What you should have did, nigga.
I wanted you to do.
Right,
you threw that dream out the window.
And then also I feel it's a delicate balance when you got a relationship though, and you know you trying, like you said, daughters, wives, and moms, but at the same time trying to juggle all of that and being all right, but I also got to make sure my wife is still the wife though, so it's like 100%. Yeah. So yeah, I like to pay my mom bills at a certain point, but also I gotta pay this fucking girl and my daughter's bills.
But that's why I don't gotta be bills. That's why I said, what can I do that'll make you? Now if she say pay my bills, now we having that conversation. But it could be something simple. But to your point, you know that whole order of importance thing, and it's like we all know your partner comes first, right? People like, no, the kids should come first. Not. Your partner come first, you know, then it's the kids because it's your household. Your mom doesn't come last, but it's a reposition priority.
Right.
So it's like, I have to handle these sad things first. And then of course I'm going to take care of my mom. But now if it comes down to like a dire need situation, of course I'm gonna handle my mom's dire need over the day-to-day of my woman or my daughters. But we just hope that it's never dire for all our men. You follow what I'm saying? But it was another thing I was going to say about just being a dad was like, another thing, man, as men, man, we get, and this could be human, but I know just speaking from manhood, I know we get wrapped up in these titles. And because I'm a dad, man, and I hadn't seen my kids for 9 weeks. That was like quite some time for me. You know, that was like I felt that 9 weeks. And it could make you feel like that distance can make you almost diminish your effort as a father. Even though I was sending money, talking to them every day, paying for everything they wanted, I still felt like because I wasn't there, it was like, is this as effective, right? It's like, is my presence as effective all the way over here? But at the other point of it, it was like, well, it's seasons, right? So in this season, I have to go out and make more and do more and be away more, but I'm also giving them more, but I just don't want I just didn't like the way I felt after coming from being in the house with them 7 days on, 7 days off, 7 days on, 7 days off, to not seeing them for 9 weeks. That was a transition that we didn't talk about in the beginning when I was going through it. I couldn't really acknowledge it, but as it came closer to me seeing them, I started to realize, like, yo, like, this, and I say men get wrapped up in titles because this could happen if a man not seeing his kid a lot. It could happen if a man loses his job at work, a certain position, if the business crumble. We as men have to stop attaching our worthiness to the title that we hold and understand that we are valuable beyond the title that we carry. So your value don't always got to be a proximity thing. So just because you're not around the kids every single day, all day, don't mean your presence ain't felt or you're not valuable. This don't mean you're a deadbeat and you're absent. It just means that you're not physically present. That don't mean that your presence isn't felt. Just because, you know, you might have didn't get that promotion or you might have lost that job, that don't mean that you're no longer qualified to be the CEO of another company. It just understanding that you are who you are. Like I always say, the millions is in the mind before they hit the account. It's a mindset. You got to know you the man within your mind, and that comes from developing yourself, getting better 1% every day versus allowing the world to try to rush your process or dictate your pace or put you in a position of feeling like because like where you at is not who you are. And that's something that I really want people to understand. Like you can be in a predicament where you don't have no money right now. You could be in a predicament where you're behind on rent. You could be in a predicament where you're not driving or wearing the latest stuff. That's not who you are. That's just where you at. You got to know who you are so you can know where you're going. And the only way for you to be able to get there is to stay steadfast in who you are, knowing like I'm the man no matter what I got going on. I'm the man no matter what's my bank account reflect. That don't mean that you can't get better and better your habits or go work harder or put more effort, but it's just saying that the outcome, you know what I mean, is not reflected in the now of where you at. This is still a development process. You haven't arrived there yet. The moment you mess up is when you look at yourself as if you arrived. No, bro, you still be coming, but you just you gotta keep going so you don't feel like, all right, you know, I ain't this or I ain't that or I ain't making here. Like, no, you just there right now, bro. Like, it might not be $1 million in your account right now. It might not even be 1,000 in your account right now. But that don't mean you're not a millionaire. That don't mean you're not $1 million guy. That don't mean you're not a high value man because your current results don't reflect that. If somebody weighed 250 pounds and they wanted to get down to 180, they go to the gym for a week and they might have got to 247. They didn't get to their goal of 180, but their mindset has already told them that I weigh 180. So I now have to go in there and put that work in to get to the weight that I already see myself at. And that's just my tip for y'all, man. Like, the titles don't make you, and neither do the results that you see now.
And to add to that quickly, I would say the work makes you. Because, you know, some people also like, they think just because we spoke about earlier, you might have maybe finagled or finessed into something. Now you are that millionaire nigga. It's like you didn't even put the work in to sustain or earn it or hold it, you know, honor it. So whether you add it yet or is approaching, if you put the work here, you there. It's meant for you. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you said that. That actually even added context because I said the millions in the mind, but the millions is really in the grind. You know what I mean? And that's literally what I really said. The millions is in the grind. Like, it's in the mind, but it's also in the grind because that's how it exits the mind. So the result of what you have is based on the effort and what you give. But the effort doesn't determine the character of the person. It's just like a person, like you said, like we talk about finessing your way to success. You can have the mind to do that, cut the corner. But when that corner come back to cut you, it's not sustainable because the grind was never there. But when you got the grind, when you on that type of time, it's like, yeah, like, all right, cool. I know that I made it here based on the work that I put in. And I know that I can do this because I actually did it. You know what I mean? But we'll go more in depth with that. It was something else that I was going to harp on in the last point that you made. But it'll come back to me, as always.
Speaking of that, well, you know, we all about personal development. And I don't know if you ever get this when you talk to people or whatever, but you know, even before I ever got into the audiobook journey, you know, became an audiobook aficionado. Yeah, I give you that. You know, you and a few people, but you know,
it's me. Because the fast did it.
The fast did it.
That's all that matters.
But remember the other part to it though.
None of that matter. It don't matter who mined the goal before it struck. It don't matter. You know, you ever heard that story? The guy that stopped a few inches shy of gold.
Right.
Yeah, that was them. With you, I came at the last minute and said, look, we doing this fast and you gonna have to read a book. And now look at you.
I wasn't going to read it though. I was going to crab it. Shout out to my other friends, like, yo, just do an audiobook. I won't crab wolf.
I'm actually not happy that he suggested that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I would have held you accountable. but
anyway, though,
small wins.
So you know, so even before I got into, you know, books, whatever, I always understood or observed stigmas towards like self-help books and personal development books, being like, that's cheesy, or that's corny, or whatever. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I've always seen a type of self-help book. What is that? And I used to be like, oh, that's kind of just cheesy or whatever. Yeah. But then I realized I'm naturally into shit like that content. I'm all about, again, I tell people all the time, I always do random food challenges because I just like thinking about random shit to push myself or challenge myself. So let's just see what I can, you know, be better at. Ricky.
You good.
I'll make sure. But like how we are with being improving, whatever. So once I start like thinking about shit I would want to, you know, read and consume, I have to think, oh no, this actually is my bag, whatever. Yeah. Now I start looking at people who have the stigma differently. Because what is it about you or how your life or your lifestyle that you have a distinct disposition towards personal development? Now, of course, some shit can just be cheesy. But for the most part, the realm of just personal development, the concept of just bettering yourself. What is it about you that you're against it, though?
Yeah, it's so that's so funny that you say that, because many people literally want to stay, and we talk about comfort in the beginning, right, as it being a luxury, but their comfort is attached to their complacency. So when they hear, people are literally lack self-awareness and don't understand that they could be better. They don't see themselves as what that could look like. Only thing they could see is the amount of change that could be the aftermath of it and the amount of effort that they're not willing to give, and they just automatically despise it. So they're like, oh, you think you better than somebody because you want to be better. Well, we use the word better 2 times in this sentence. And one was to identify that I think I'm better than somebody. The other one was to get better. So if I want to get better, I don't think it's a thought. Eventually, I'll become better. And if you don't get better, it's not me saying that I think I'm better than you. It's results showing that I have better habits. I have a better outcome. I'm giving better energy and better effort. So it's not that I think I'm better, that the results would say that I'm outperforming you. So I don't want to say that I think I'm better than nobody, but I am willing to outperform because I'm willing to put the work in. And I feel like that be the thing where people start to despise it because they like, their inability makes them insecure. Their lack of will makes them feel like that disconnect and that gap that's being created, that gap is creating a disconnect that makes them want to stop you from doing it. So it's like, I don't want you to get better because I don't want to get better. And because I don't want to get better, I'm going to create a stigma associated with it to make it seem lame. Like, how did we make personal development lame? How is it lame to go to the gym, read books, eat healthier? How? Like, you got to think what's so funny about the human mind. If somebody is too positive on the internet, eventually you start skipping it. But you've never seen somebody skip to, now, we're not talking about us being in a personal development space where we don't follow negativity. I'm talking about to the average eye. They will sit and watch 2 hours of the news. The news shows 2 minutes of a positive story developing on somebody feeding 4,000 homeless people, and people get disgusted with it. You got to ask yourself, what is it in my brain that makes me disgusted with seeing positive shit? Why am I bored with it? Why am I not interested? Why am I having this disdain towards something that's considered to be positive?
But when it's negative,
I'm extremely engaged.
Injected.
Yo, so those type of things is where you have to self-reflect and realize, like, yo, you know what? Maybe it is me I need to work on. Because why am I attracted to this? We hear this all the time when people try to deflect from the people they end up dealing with, the jobs they have, the kids they raise, and you never just think about it like, what about me is a reflection of what I created?
And attract.
Like, what area, because the way for me is like, bro, I don't even watch certain stuff. I don't even say certain words. I don't even listen to certain stuff. Why? Because it disgusts me. But it's not the positive stuff that does it, right? And I'm not even gonna say it disgusts me. It just don't interest me. The lack of interest makes me just be like, I'm not watching that. I have no care, no desire, no urge. So if I did have a care, desire, urge, I have to go internally and be like, what about me is attracted to this? What about me is okay with this? What about me agrees with this? And if I don't like it, then I have to fix the parts about me that connects with it, you know, and that's what true personal development is. So, you know, we always want to say get 1% better, because how else are you supposed to grow? Like, what else happens? You either going forward or you going backwards. Nothing stays the same, you know?
To switch gears a little bit back to the kid conversation, you know, the idea of, you know, co-parenting can be hard. You know, it could be sorry about that. It could be challenging, tedious, you know, all those type of things. Yeah. And I feel part of it is people don't really have a good discernment and understanding of the difference between boundaries and prevention.
That's a fact.
And I feel navigating those two dynamics and concepts and ideas is half the battle with the co-parent.
100%.
So, you know,
so talking about it, like you just said, the difference between creating boundaries and preventions, whatever. And like, I always got to reference the source. You know, we seen this topic be presented in a form of a example, whatever. He gave like a demonstration. God gave a demonstration on what was this and what was that. But when I really break it down, it's like understanding, like, it's okay to have boundaries as a co-parent, right? Like you don't have to give your baby mom or your baby dad access to you in certain ways that could make you uncomfortable. And that don't make you a bad parent. Like you don't have to say, oh, I got to answer all your calls, or I'm not letting you see your kid, or I got to communicate with you at these hours, or I'm limiting the access, especially during the infant stages and the toddler stages when they're not old enough to communicate on their own. It's about having boundaries within self that don't prevent them from being an active parent. So your boundaries can't consist of determining when they could be a parent, but your boundaries can consist of how you communicate with them. Your boundaries can't consist of how much they contribute financially, but your boundaries can consist of what you do or what you're willing to do, right? Because you can't be like, oh, I want you to put up 500, but I'm only willing to put up 100. It's like, no, you know what the math that is. Baby mom math. It's like, no, the boundary is, look, you know what? This is what I'm able to do. For me, the way I set a boundary is I had to tell, for me, the boundary was set. This is what I could do every week. As I make more money, I'll give more money. Do what you please within this budget, but you are not allowed to take or pre-spend my money. I'm not an ATM, and I'm going to give y'all the acronym for ATM at this moment. You cannot call me at the moment and think that I'm going to just give you cash. Like, you don't just dial my number and say, hun, $50, and I'm sending it. Hun, $100, I'm sending it. No, because I have to create the space to be able to say, okay, was it in my plan? Now, we're not talking about emergency funds. It wasn't in my plan to spend $200 a day. It wasn't. Call me on Friday. And that's a boundary that I set. It wasn't respected. Of course, you're going to get called a deadbeat. I can never rely on you. No, you're not going to call me impulsively and tell me that you need money and think that I'm going to just pull cash out my pocket and just give. No, I need a 3-day. So it got to the point where I set that boundary with my kids. If you need something Friday, call me on Monday. It's not about if I have the money available to give you. It's about if the money can be moved at that time, because maybe it's there, but it goes to something else. And a part of becoming responsible as a man is being honest with myself about what I'm comfortable with doing, right? So when we think about the whole prevention versus the boundary thing, it's like the prevention would be, oh, well, you're not giving me this, so you can't see your kid. The boundary is that you can see a kid whenever you want, but don't call me after midnight because those are my hours to talk. And that's the thing that can help us get better as co-parenting, being able to understand that your other parent is allowed to have boundaries. Just because you have a kid with this person don't give you dominion over their life. It gives you dominion over the decisions that involve your kids. I'm allowed to have a say-so in the decisions that involve my kids. I am not allowed to have a say-so in the whatever they moms decide to do. That's like y'all choice. Like whether y'all, I don't have to agree with your lifestyle as long as it don't affect my children. That's when I have something to say. But even in my something to say, I can only extract from the points that affect my child. Can't talk about what you willing to do. And if I don't like it, I can't prevent you from doing it. I can only up my level of effort or interest to be able to say, all right, this is how I'm going to offset the things I don't like. And we got to be willing to do that. You can't try to control somebody, what they do, they input, they output. And no, you can control you. So if you don't like what somebody doing or how they moving, then alter how you moving to offset what you don't like about what they doing. And if it's not controllable, then you know what they say, man, learn to change the things we can't accept and accept the things we can't change. Really that simple.
Facts. What's our time looking, Ricky?
It was something it was another freaking dang, man, I did this twice. I guess because we on the tail end of it, I'll just I'll hold off and just bring it back for the future convo, but I'll go over my notes and I'll see.
All right.
But
I was gonna throw this out there. Maybe you can. I don't think we finished the point in previous conversation. The idea of like when you're going through life and dealing with certain things, trying to improve, develop stuff. But sometimes it could be a sense of like overanalyzing and being overly critical.
We do it.
Then,
we do it.
Right.
We ain't gotta talk in hypotheticals. we because we are refining type of men. We refine everything that we touch. So yes, let's go from there. This is a real conversation that we really have.
For sure.
I want people to know that.
Yeah, for sure. And the idea of like when you can be trying to fix a table and the one leg is shaking and the whole table out.
Oh yeah.
So,
So we were talking just recently, and I was basically saying like sometimes because Q got this thing where we talk about zooming out, which helps me a lot because sometimes I get caught up in the day-to-day antics and operations of our growth in every area, whether it's in my business or whether it's with the platform or whatever, that I get into this focused on the micro, right? And then he always come with a macro approach and be like, yo, but if you zoom out, yeah, this day might have looked like this, but look at the total of the week. The week went like this, so that helps me. But I was talking about refining, and I was like, people tend to get scared when things get a little shaky, right? So it could be one thing going wrong, right? One of the table legs is a little squeaky, and we focus so much on that squeaky, wobbly leg that we forget that we got 3 strong legs and the table never gonna fall. But everybody feel like that one unstable leg is the the determining factor of the stability of the table. So we end up throwing the table away. And metaphorically speaking, this is how people fuck up a good situation, because you're looking at one thing that might be a little shaky in a situation, and now you think that the whole situation is a dub. Oh yeah, this person don't do this. Oh nope, over. You disregarded the whole other 80%. This is where the 80-20 rule goes into effect, because 80% of this table is good. Like literally, 80% of the joint is good, but there's one leg that's a little shaky, and you're gonna throw the whole table away because you think it's a damaged table instead of one or two things: adjusting and fixing a leg and working on that particular area because it's clearly a weak point, or doing things with the table that don't put so much strain on that leg so it don't get further damage, right? And being able to manufacture. And again, we metaphorically speaking, but that's how it goes in with your relationship. This is how it goes in your friendship. This is how it goes in every area, but relationships, and for sure, just because you got one little wobbly leg don't mean you got a relationship that can't be fixed. It don't mean you should throw the whole relationship away. It just means that you need to make them two choices. Either I'm going to fix this wobbly leg, or I'm not going to put enough stress on that leg so it don't do further damage to the table. Because some tables just was built like that. Right. And they work.
For sure. And I've seen people, we've seen a million times at a restaurant or something where they put like a little coaster under the leg or something. Yeah.
That shit perfectly fine.
Good. That's totally fine. Yeah.
And that cloth could be a little bit better communication, a little bit more patience, a little bit more understanding. You get determined the makeshift and how you determine to fix that leg. Nobody can tell you, why you got that newspaper under there. You don't know why the newspaper is there, but it's there because it's adding extra stability to this leg. And sometimes, being in a relationship, you might have to be that newspaper that adds that to stop the relationship from being shaky, stop the table from shaking. But most people just complain about it. You need to go get the leg fixed. You got the solution right there, but you don't want to get that little extra effort. We talk about the 80-20.
Because you're ignoring that 80.
You're ignoring that 80. Like, come on, man. Let's talk about it. But yeah, man, all in all, man, like, it's so many things that I was going to harp on in this episode, but honestly, I do feel like complete, essentially. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel fulfilled. And I want us to continue to get vulnerable in front of our audience. Like, we are extremely transparent, but transparent and vulnerable is two different things.
That's a fact.
Transparent is what we do. Vulnerable is when, like, we get like, one thing I'll say, in your level of transparent, it could be vulnerable to other people. Like, sometimes you drop names, like, but I just feel like, we go through real situations, and we want y'all to know that the 1% rule that we set is not just for y'all. We really be on that shit. Like, y'all are growing with us as men as well. And what we're doing is creating a framework, which we said we was going to do in the beginning, for men who have no guidance to be able to do this. Our men who have some and need more. And honestly, this should be for us. This should be therapy for us.
Absolutely.
We ain't been in a gym in a minute, essentially. Not the real gym, but in this gym. So being able to be here and being able to film and just embrace and enjoy this level of comfort of having our own. That's one thing I will say, bro. This ours, bro. And that's what I be like every time, like, real quick, this is the thing about life, man. What I learned, man, you have to become an owner to really have respect. And what I mean by that is, it's like as long as you renting, you really can't do you. So, and that's metaphorically speaking, but that's life. And that's why it was very important to me to own what I'm working on, because everybody, it don't matter how big the house is. Everybody respects a home. You're still a homeowner. It don't matter if you own a mansion or a 1-bedroom freaking cabin. It's yours. You own it. And the fact that you own it, can't nobody get you up off it. And that's what I like about ownership, and just with that alone, man, like, that's what makes me happy about being able to sit here and be like, this our shit. Like, I can open my, I can, kick back and spread my legs, kick back, and I'm trying not to say pause shit. That's pause, strike that from the record. I'm trying my best to say some profound shit without toiling fence. But ultimately, man, just
comfort is luxury.
The luxury, like, this is our shit, and we are building this. And we got here, and it's like, no matter the roads that led us here, we here now. And I'm extremely thankful and grateful for that. And just anybody that's out there, man, whatever you have, no matter the level of success that it's sustaining, man, if you own that shit, take pride in it, because one thing for sure, bosses respect bosses. The boss that runs the Walmart can understand. I mean, the boss that runs the Walmart still can respect the Poppy store, the owner of Poppy's, the owner of the Chinese store, the owner of a small mom and pop shop, because they understand what it takes to create something and actually run it. Everybody's level and capacity going to look different, but if you're doing something that's worth talking about, even if it's a small conversation, bro, big shout out to you.
No.
Like the 3 people that watched Right on Cue Live.
And
it was yours.
My mom.
Your mom,
it was mine.
your daughter, and your fiance.
Her daughter wasn't born yet, so yeah.
But she was still in thought.
That's fair.
But yeah, so we could land it there, man. Y'all already know, man. Like, I enjoyed it, man. You enjoyed it?
Absolutely.
Feel good to be home.
Yeah, you know, again, when we home and it's just us, you know, getting our shit off, you know,
this is home.
Bouncing, you know, going back and forth with the topics, whatever, flowing. Yeah, it flowed.
Yeah, so with that being said, man, we hope y'all enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed having this conversation with y'all. And y'all already know, man, we want y'all to get 1% better.
1%ers.
1% better. So Q has this thing where he's presenting to us that our community is going to be called the 1%ers. I'm all in for it, so that's why he's plugging it so much.
1%ers.
So let me just put it on the record that you are a 1%er if you do anything on the day-to-day to get 1% better. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it look like. You are a part of the 1%ers. We are only the men we are today because we get 1% better. We did not start here. We didn't wake up and just become the people that we are. We actually do these things on a day-to-day, going through the different mundane tasks of life and the different nuances and dealing with the nuisances, like all of the different things that come with it, and still saying, you know what, I got to get 1% better behind this. I can't be okay with where I'm at. I could get content, but not get complacent. And we just want to get better little by little by little so that when we look back from a macro standpoint, it's like, yo, we made a quantum leap, even though in a macro and in a micro sense, it was day to day. So, you know, we want to try to get 1% better with every conversation, 1% better with all of your effort, 1% better in all of your habits. As y'all already know, when y'all let people know we grow, so we do not want y'all to be a gatekeeper of this information. We want y'all to share it out. Please share it out, share it out, share it out. We want to grow the numbers. Like, we like that. We not results based, but I ain't going to act like I don't be calling Q like, yo, we did X amount in one day. So continue to share this, man. We want more people to get better. If you don't like the world in which we live in, help change it by introducing people to conversations like this. Take these conversations further on, continue to elaborate, continue to show us love, man. I'm so extremely grateful for all the love y'all show us. Y'all show us a lot of love when y'all see us. We love it. We appreciate it. We thankful. And y'all already know where to find us, man. I'm promoting the platforms first. The Wolf Has Spoken podcast, download us on all audio platforms. Wolf Network on YouTube, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast on that YouTube channel. Make sure you follow the page on IG, wolfnetwork.wsc. Make sure you follow me at wolfwsc. Where can they find you?
Right on Q Live, as in the right side on QE Live. And also shout out to everybody that be like, are you? Is that you on it? Yeah. So, you know, shout out to everybody.
You got the show. Big shout out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out to all y'all. So shout out to everybody, Ron Q Live, you know.
Now.
Yeah, they be like, but you be, because I never see you really, do you have a mic?
but sometimes, man, good things to be seen, I heard.
Absolutely. But no, it's funny, cause I get both perceptions of it.
Do is watch the episode.
I get people both perceptions.
So that's the beauty in it, Q. Told y'all you would get famous.
You said that.
Through on that.
You said that.
They gotta go watch it. I did my part.
But some people would be like, yo, they be like, that's what I'm saying. It'd be funny. It's funny when they be like, is that you? I'm like, yeah. But other people like, yo, like when I actually watched it, this and that. So both type of people are funny to me and interesting. So either way, I appreciate and respect all the acknowledgments as we continue to grow. There's going to be more and more people though. Shout out to everybody.
Big shout out to Ricky B. Philly, who is not taking no more clients at the moment because I'm his manager.
Closed off.
Yeah, we are currently not accepting no more bookings, but make sure I still follow him if y'all need photo shoots and, you know, videography, things like that. He definitely, you know, and if y'all need the pot, you know, he could be the go-to as well. You know what I'm saying? But just run it past me so we can make sure it doesn't, you know, all the schedules align.
Email be lost.
Yeah. Send it to HR. HR got it. But all in all, man, till next time, man, as always, man, we love y'all. We grateful. We appreciate y'all for helping us become the fastest growing podcast in the universe. And yeah, man, let's continue to do this, man. Till next time. The Wolf Has Spoken. We out.
Yes, sir.